This semester, I took the course Religious Dimensions in Human Experience by Dr. David Carrasco. Learning from him has been nothing short of an honor. He knows how to listen so that people feel safe to tell their stories. In so doing, as well as in repeating their stories and saying their names, he illuminates what was once delusionally private into the light of the public. Dr. Carrasco's teaching and way of teaching has uplifted my mind, or as he says, perfumed the senses, and I have been brought to consider the human capacity for kindness and creation, capacities which he has taught alongside their equally plausible counterparts, cruelty and destruction. In class, we've explored the ways that profound experiences force themselves into expressions, manifesting via stories, language, art, cosmologies, even the very structures of human society. In the syllabus for this course, Dr. Carrasco expressed the goal to turn our education into a quest for wisdom. It is with this quest in mind that I wish to invite you to join me as I reflect on what I have learned this semester, particularly as it relates to my understanding of holiness. So, let's begin! Quest number 1, Divinity Emerging at the Convergence of Seemingly Incompatible Things. In class, we compared two approaches to the study of religion, phenomenological and systemic. The phenomenological approach suggests that religion and religious expression stem from an encounter with the sacred that is powerful and humbling. It comes from something outside you and well before you. It leaves you with a paradoxical sense that you want to be close to it because you love it, and that you've got to get out of the way because of its sheer power and overwhelming energy. Theorist Mircea Eliade describes this encounter as a hierophany, an awesome manifestation of the divine in earthly form, and theorist Rudolf Otto suggests that religious teachings and doctrines are developed as rationalizations for these hierophanies or encounters with the holy. On the other hand, the systemic approach suggests that religion and sacred experience are socially constructed, religious ideas and laws imposed on the world by humans to which humans must conform. Theorist Peter Berger suggests that through dialectical processes, humans create a nomos for their world, building and internalizing stories and symbols which in turn offer a shield against meaninglessness and a place to turn when pain occurs. It is with these theories in mind that I considered the trust of religious doctrine as fact. You see, I do not think that suggesting someone's religious teachings are rationalizations or are human constructions are always a great way to make friends with religious practitioners, a group to which I also belong. I brought a few questions about how faiths can suggest revelation and doctrinal accuracy to a professor and member of my faith community. As he listened to me grapple with ideas, he provided two thoughts, which etched their way into my soul. 1. The actual instances of real contradiction are rare, and 2. It is often in the convergence of competing truths that sanctity is revealed. He described Jesus literally raised up in tension, bridging the gap between justice and mercy, humanity and divinity, tradition and innovation. As I reflect on his words, I too feel that the more I lean into seemingly competing ideas, the more I feel that contradiction is rare. In this specific scenario, I have come to think that suggestions of doctrine as rationalizations to encounters with the holy, human-built nomos imposed on a group, or revelation of truth do not ultimately contradict. Seeing religious teachings as rationale for holy encounters helps practitioners focus on the experience they are trying to have with divinity without getting lost in the weeds of doctrinal contradiction. Meanwhile, seeing religious teachings as human constructions can help individuals bring about works of redemption and healing, empowering them to resist when cosmologies call for the promotion of harm. Lastly, seeing religious teachings as true revelation allows for the possibility of communication with something larger than the self, even as that communication is limited to the contextually specific capacity of an individual's understanding built on language, culture, and history. To me, these ideas converge when I think about the coalescence of divine miracle and human agency, every birth stemming from something completely divine outside of the self, powerful and jaw-dropping and yet human, worked for, and painful. They converge as I think about what I've heard referred to as co-creation, humanity and who I call God working in tandem to build a towering edifice of symbols, to articulate what matters, and to find our way home. I'm breaking a sweat, but let's move to the next leg of the quest. I'll name this portion Holiness in Art and Aesthetics. In class, we discussed the farm worker and Chicano movement of the 1960s. As Mexican immigrant workers faced extremely low wages, severe discrimination, and dangerous working conditions, figures like Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta organized to increase Hispanic equality in the United States. The movement centered the arts. Music was of particular importance, protesters singing to keep up morale. The song De Colores became the unofficial anthem. Groups sang in unity, de colores, se visten los campos en la primavera. De colores, son los pajaritos que vienen de afuera. Y por eso los grandes amores de muchos colores me gustan a mí. The song, through the aesthetics that shine in its joyful poetry, recognizes innate human dignity and tremendous beauty, even as stories of inferiority have been told and continue to be told amid today's anti-immigrant rhetoric in the United States. Art and aesthetics bring the ability to reveal human beauty, much as De Colores uplifted all who sang. In so doing, aesthetics bring a candor of holiness, a sanctity that pierces through suffering and reminds that all are sacred. When the soul is stunted by violence, holiness can also be found at work in art, enabling us to move forward by reclaiming and rewriting our stories. This semester, our class had the privilege of hearing from guest lecturer and painter Ellen Elms. After reading Dr. Carrasco's article, Saying the Mexican Names, she noticed she had lost a sense of the victims of the 2019 El Paso shooting. Though I do not enjoy bringing up this tragic event, I do so in hopes of offering solidarity. In this attack, a man killed 23 Mexican Americans at the Cielo Vista Walmart after posting a white nationalist and anti-immigrant manifesto online. My heart turns to those who continue to suffer from this shooting 6 years later, as well as the many others grieving lives lost to gun violence in the United States each year. Ellen decided to learn the stories and paint a portrait of each individual lost in the massacre. She said she felt she was becoming friends with them as she researched and illustrated their lives, reading about a coach who stepped in front of his players to protect them from the shooter, or a mother who was recently reunited with her daughter. Ellen illuminated their faces in bright, brilliant color. Through an attorney working with the families, she asked whether they would like to receive the portraits. Every family said yes. Remarkably, they arrived on Christmas Eve. During a time of immense grief, these paintings sent by a woman across the country offered a much-needed witness to their pain. As my TF Pedro has said, we all need to know that our stories will not be commercialized but be seen, in order for speech, healing, and transformation to be possible. Ellen's husband, Don, called us to remember that every being is an immensity. An essence of the liveliness and immensity of each individual becomes revealed through Ellen's colors. Aesthetics can have the capacity to hold and touch upon the immensities of our natures. In this way, perhaps art is care. And this brings me to the last component of my journey in this course that I want to share with you, holiness as care. Arthur Kleinman, psychiatrist and medical anthropologist, wrote that wisdom must be experienced to be effective as a lived feeling and a moral practice that redeems our humanness. He continued that it is through mentoring and caregiving that he has come closest to this quest for wisdom. These words are a reminder that wisdom cannot be found in theoretical concepts alone. Like Dr. Kleinman, I too think that wisdom stems from experiences, feelings, and practices derived via care. It is in moments of giving and receiving care that I feel the most washed over in reality. I'll share one such experience briefly. During a class period at the end of my junior year of college, my teacher invited us to listen to a song. I believe he played Ordinary Miracle by Sarah McLachlan. That semester, I had put my worth into other people's hands, and as a result, insecurity was no far friend. As I sat listening, I returned to a sense of love for myself and the world. I felt as though beneath the worried and lonely veneer of my being lay liquid gold, a substance which rippled when prodded in thick, undulating waves. I felt as though, in the words of a friend, beneath the surface was God waiting. The care that infused me that day is one I wish to remember and cultivate. The song was care, a gift wrapped in ribbon, and the resulting sense of care from something inside, yet bigger than me too, was gift. Gift beyond description. During a section meeting for this course, a classmate said that hierophanies can occur in the intimate dimensions of our lives, hierophanies becoming the sacred texts of the people around us. Through the many forms that caregiving can take, art, recognition, gift, I believe it has the capacity to awaken in us a sense of ubiquitous holiness. I've left this class pondering this ubiquity, the immensity in me, and the immensity in all of us. Well, thank you for joining me on this journey, recognizing that the quest for wisdom is, as Kleinman says, largely unfulfilled, though, with caregiving, not unfulfillable. To conclude, I'll throw out one wish to the world and say, please fund the humanities. But in more seriousness, from this course I am carrying with me a recognition of the power of dwelling intention and using beauty and aesthetics. When both of these tools are used in care to listen and learn intention, and care to hold and recognize immensity, I believe therein lies holiness.